at what point do you get to that point where you realize now where things are going, it's no longer two people that fell in love, it's now two people co-parenting this child. That you're looking at her and it's no longer this girl you fell for, it's now, you know, the mother of my children.
Now at the point where your wife becomes mama wa bana, you come back home and she's wearing a good t-shirt, cancer run, you know, but brother, if you have not yet bought even a dress, even a good t-shirt will suffice. You get what?
Hi, and welcome to the Circle of Life podcast. My name is Doreen. Now, on this platform, we truly believe that God has intended for us to experience beauty and abundance in every facet of our lives. So if that's your kind of vibe, if you truly believe in that, then do consider subscribing.
By the time you look at your wife as nothing but mama wabana, you've also taken that posture, and I think it goes to that point that we're saying, it begins with men.
If the madam has a cancer run t-shirt and it's what you have, birthday, Kabaka birthday run, and it's what the man and woman can afford at that time. Banange, get some scissors, cut it up a bit, start from there. Like people, life is not so complicated like we make it to be.
How do you move your marriage from that place where you're looking at each other as just co-parents?
Now, today we're shaking things up a little bit. We have a very exciting conversation, and the men take center stage as they talk about relationships, all things love, all things marriage, all things dating. Yeah, so it's a show that you certainly want to watch till the end. And we have a guest host today, Mark Nasasira, who is not new to you, so enjoy the show.
We're here, a couple of gentlemen here, and we are discussing the role of men in relationship and our place in trying to build that relationship with your spouse. And today with me, like I said, two perfect gentlemen for the job to have that conversation with. And to begin with, Semwezi.
Hi viewers, Samuel here. I'm happy to be on this podcast. The topic speaks directly to my heart as I'm coming around a big anniversary. Thank you for having me.
Oh, great having you. And then over to you,
Julius Mukiza, thanks for inviting me. I'm excited to be here, and I can't wait to share the best thoughts I have on this matter.
Great. So we having a conversation here about the role of men regarding relationships and their spouses. Oftentimes it's said as a partner, you have a duty to water or to pour into your partner. And what we want to look at, or the discussion that I want us to have, is the role of men regarding their spouses and the posture they take or how they look at them, whether it is the mother of their children or this partner I have, and you're looking at them past just the image of the mother of their children. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from and what I'm saying. Yeah. So what is that responsibility, and how does it look for a man in relation to their wife, and how they look at them, whether it benefits or it cuts it out for a man to look at their partner as the mother of their children or as this partner I have in a marriage?
Yeah, well, that's a very interesting topic in terms of how the role of men and and how they perceive their wives and how that inadvertently affects them. I have to say I've been fortunate enough to have a wife who is actually also my friend. So I keep telling my friends, sometimes I don't want to compare myself to people because I have carried a different grace. I feel like God cheated some exams for me. But that said, coming back to that, we live in a very highly patriarchal society, and there's this huge burden on the woman from tradition, our cultures. Like, if the woman is terrible, the marriage will not work. You understand? And there's this whole shift where they absolutely forget that the man has a role to play. A man is a man. You just show up, kameza. You do what I call them the roles, which people have now tried to twist and make the key roles of a man, and then ignore what is the most important, that women are nurturers. You understand? I know it sounds cliche, but they are. There was a nasty song that played some years. I don't want to call it a nasty song per se, but I think you guys have heard it in the past. Zenimiro gwe farmer. You understand? It sounds ridiculous, but actually carries a lot of weight. That your wife should be a garden. The seeds you plant, you get. You know. Funny thing is, if I'm speaking from a Christian perspective, funny thing is, men actually have the keyest role, if I may use that word, in influencing what they receive from the other end. You get? So there's this drum roll of submission, but there's this forgetfulness of, hey, there's the element of love. And it has got to be actionable. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you put out bitter lemons, you will get bitter lemons. That's just how it is. If you put out flowers, if you put out good seed, you will get good seed. Yeah, but you can't plant bananas and now you're looking for oranges. It's a bit unrealistic to have an expectation. So, family, I also believe that the way a man really does treat his wife, will not even reflect in their family and in their relationship, in his relationship with her. If you do all those things that it doesn't work, then your wife just has bad manners.
You see, when you say we've had a very patriarchal society,
Yes.
someone would argue actually and say you're actually advancing that same thing of because you're saying it's the role of a man. What you plant is what you get out
Yes.
of the marriage.
Yes.
But then does that take away the place of the woman? I mean, how I look at her, is it not dependent on how she has packaged or presented herself? Because there is also this place where probably a woman will decide to take on the only frame or the only structure and posturing she's taking is for the mother of the children.
Yeah, okay.
And she's just stuck in that space. She's not leaving that space. And she's no longer the girl that you fail
got
for.
married to.
Yeah, the girl you fail for. So when you say it's the seeds that a man sows.
Yes.
Is it not? Does it not matter how she also responds or how she has decided to package herself?
Okay. I like that you put it that way. But, excuse me, this is what I would like to say. I'm not saying primarily,
Yeah.
if a man doesn't do this and the woman doesn't respond accordingly, it's the man's fault. This is not, it shouldn't be a finger pointing thing. Relationships, like all things, have got to evolve. Just like a farmer plants a garden and he's got to weed. Understand? But of course, the reason I relate to a garden is because I know women are naturals, like I said in the beginning. Of course, as two individuals, you each have your primary responsibilities, or I could say primary purposes. Now, when you both understand that purpose for yourselves, then it becomes easier to navigate the evolution of your relationship, because you can never expect people to stay the same. You understand? Like, men grow old and they get, he said he pursued his wife. You remember what he said? Now, after that, kids come into the picture. He gets a bit jealous over something. Then he said, now I need to reevaluate. But think about it this way. That's all evolution. Yeah, what did we miss? But the fact is, the kids have come. You're not going to chase them out to stop being jealous. You understand? They have come. You have to deal with them right there. So how do you evolve? Now that's why marriages need to be a bit more intentional, or relationships, how people like to need to be more intentional. You can't be a passive leader and expect active results. You've got to be more intentional on both sides. Women playing their role in nurturing and being submissive, and men playing their role in being leaders. This whole problem started when a woman tried to lead. I'm sorry to say women, but biblically speaking, it started when a woman tried to lead. She somehow interpreted the language of the snake. Behold, Adam listened, and here we are. But it's not a blame game at the end of the day. I'm trying to say, when men begin to, the point I was trying to raise when I said that what you put in is what you get. When men rescind their authority, to lead and be leaders in these relationships. Yeah. Then somehow they can get trapped in this modernism of how relationships are supposed to work, and things get affected. But ultimately, we're talking about how the perception, a man's perception of his wife, inevitably affects how he responds to her. That in itself is I don't know the right word for it. That in itself is a very vital aspect of how any relationship should succeed, because you can't afford to be kind to someone. You can't afford to lead someone, can't afford to provide for someone and love them intentionally, and somehow they don't reciprocate. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why I said if they don't, then clearly maybe it wasn't meant to happen. When you have bad manners, life has to move on. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But also society kind of also affects how we all, because we all grow up differently. He has his own perceptions about life. You have your own. I have my own perceptions about marriage. Then you're two strangers coming to live together. So there's that element of also allowing yourselves to be nurtured and grow. But we have these popcorn relationships where there is no time to invest and get a reward. It's always invest, get a reward tomorrow. But there's no patience, in other words. So I don't know if I'm making sense by what I've said.
Yeah. But at what point does it become clear that, it's not like you're saying in your relationship? At what point do you get to that point where you realize now where things are going, it's no longer two people that fell in love, it's now two people co-parenting this child, and as a space, but in a space as a man, where do you catch yourself, or where is that line that you're looking at your spouse? You realize actually, because most people are doing it, and sometimes they don't even know that they're doing it. That you're looking at her, and it's no longer this girl you fell for. It's now, the mother of my children. Mama Waba.
For me, I was called out. In the sense, and you were being very nice. But the thing is, even when I say I was pursuing, but pursuing for me and pursuing for you, as you said, we all have different the way we approach this thing called life, right? For me, it was poetry. It was funny, okay, not funny, but picnics as in the thing is also at the time, as you know, was starting my safari company. So those tunes of now about we're going to the island, we're going to Mombasa. So I was creative in that way. Some might say I was thrifty, but then that's how I saw this is how I'm going to bag this prize, right? Back. Now there'd be times. So yeah. From that point, like going out, taking out, wasn't really. But then that effort was we could come across. Now when I was called out, it's like just almost. I was just so now you've done this. I've done this. Right, and then but what happened to those those messages and things, and so when I was called, was when I realized, I think that noble for these guys who have now come into our dynamic, right, the ones I prayed for and asked for, and now so it's back to me. I have to check myself, right, and because not that it's patriarchal, but then, man, we as guys kind of set. At least the way I see it, we set this
the pace, and
because otherwise the foxes are also going to come, But you're not the only one who's seeing her. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a clip that I want us to watch, and then we can come back and continue this conversation.
The guy who considers his wife as a mama wavana will get a mother of his children. And then if he wants now the other side, the romantic side, he will get it. But now you are wondering why she's not romantic and she's coming with gowns and bed sheets all over, because she's Mama Wavana, you see. Now receive her differently and then she'll come that way. Hallelujah. I'm telling you, these things change the settings. The settings change. All of a sudden, instead of saying, but this human, are you my mother? What, I'm telling you. You took her that way. So now you laid that bed, you're sleeping in it. Now take her differently, then take her out, then, Because you see, the mama one is waiting for you at home, eh?
Welcome back. So that's Prophet Elvis Mbonye in one of his ministrations. You can catch the whole ministration on his YouTube channel, Prophet Elvis Mbonye. And guys,
anyway, but you see, it goes back to my point, you guys.
Yeah.
He actually hasn't spared men. You see
Yeah,
what I was saying?
yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, men, we just can't run away from certain things. Understand? With that shift of responsibility is what has brought many of their problems. Actually, there's a saying, I had a gentleman once make a statement, that the world would be a better place if men kept their zips up. But this was in regard to spreading their seed everywhere and creating more and more problems. But anyway, I digress. The point I'm trying to make, at the end of the day, just like you said, if you do not we live life from the inside out. Yeah, but not just from the outside in. Now, at the point where your wife becomes mama wa bana, you come back home and she's wearing a good t-shirt, cancer run. But brother, if you have not yet bought even a dress,
oh yeah,
a good t-shirt will suffice. I saw like a pride cracker joke here, but the truth is,
yeah, I know.
These are realities. You understand?
When
when you all started out, you started out well.
Yeah.
You get it? Yeah. People took care of themselves before maybe the husband came to the room. The husband made sure that these things were available. And somehow you didn't have to work hard to ensure that the relationship with your spouse works out. You just had to tweak a few things and then they would sort of reciprocate. Because they say women are complex, but also that's also their simplicity. There are a few things you have to adjust. By the time you take on someone's daughter, you should know certain things about them that you need maybe to do that will help them be the person they are to you.
Yeah.
But not overheat men. We also evolve.
Yeah.
There is a point in time when love is not what you're just about. Now, because you hunted, if I'm to use what he did, you got kids. Now you're in this phase of, I need to secure the bag. And it takes up every emotion in you. Because now it has become the object of your hunt now. And you've now left the focus of family and the wife. Yes, you still do the provision and all that, but those little details cease to matter. But like I say, life is in those little details. So that's why I talked about intentionality.
Yeah, I was going to ask, actually, when you think about it, isn't it that a man who has also taken the posture of Tata Wabana is the one who will treat his wife as Mama Wabana? Because I feel like by the time you look at your wife as nothing but Mama Wabana, you've also taken that posture. And I think it goes to that point that we're saying, it begins with men. Yes. Because there is no way you're looking, if you're not looking at yourself as Tata Wabana, just merely Tata Wabana, you're going to look at your spouse or your partner as Mama Wabana.
Exactly.
So if it is, the view is skewed within you, then that's what you actually project. That's what how you look at your... Yes, that's how you're looking at her, that's how you're treating her, because that's also the place you've taken. And I think that's why I agree with you.
The inside out thing.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
That it starts from where you are as a man, that you've and it goes to you know, the thing you're saying, you look at, for example, when you've evolved over time as a couple and kids have come in the picture, and then you not only are the women out there also thinking about raising these children and spending time with them, but you as a man also, the dynamics change and the things that you were prioritizing change. You start looking at, now we need to start thinking how these children are going to live. Your budgets have to change and everything that you are focusing on changes. As a man, I think a lot of things change in your mind, and that's why they say the moment you give birth, if you're a man and you do not grow up to outgrow some things because they no longer appeal to you, as a father, you're looking at these kids are going to go to school, I need to start planning this, I need to start planning, give them a stable home or a permanent home, and you're carried away by those. Then you start looking at yourself, or you take that posture of tata wabana, and then you look at your partner as mama wabana.
For her to be part of the dynamic of securing that bag. Right?
So, but how do you make her part of that dynamic?
Okay, because
people might want to know, because, you know, most homes have a man's space and a woman's space. There is no like interaction. You understand?
When it comes to securing the bag.
Exactly. There's no interaction. That's why you see many wealthy men pass away, money is left in the bank. The wife had no clue that this guy had this money. So maybe someone might ask you, then how do you...
Yes. I guess drawing from my situation is because we're into agriculture. And then she's got the background of accounting and everything. So, and like you say, natural. So when we sit down and we say, okay, we're going to do this kind of project, and are we ready? Are we set? So she's part of the thing. However, when the bag isn't secured properly, it doesn't stop her from being like, no, this and this and that. And there's no place for me to say, but you know, there's this delay, right? But the point is, it's come off just me doing my tours and thing, and her doing her bookkeeping, and then her just throwing the list, and then me getting overwhelmed with these challenges that I can't relate to her. But then also with that, I don't want the balance of being vulnerable. That vulnerable in certain places is also, dicey. You know what I mean?
But then again, the question I had asked earlier, how do you as a man now, you in this space of stuck of mama wabana, tata wabana, how do you move from that space? Because like I said, you might still be looking at her and man, you still get smitten. You're like, man, this is a chick I fell in love with. But she has taken on a posture that is, how do you move from that place as a man? How do you move your marriage from that place where you're looking at each other as just co-parents?
Okay. I keep telling myself this also. You really can't give what you don't have. Let's start from there. But also I would like to help men a bit here also, because this can seem taxing. When you hear that clip, you say like taking her out, what if the bag is not there to take her out? And this is where we fault our relationships and put them in a bubble of what we've learned from the outside, from your telemundos, and how women should be treated, and what a man should do and what he shouldn't do.
Should buy flowers.
I would like to correct that error slightly. There comes a time when, if you know your person, you'll be very surprised that you actually don't need so-called a lot of money to build a memory. You understand? And let me speak from my own experience. I didn't start out with my wife who I had XYZ. But it's the little things while people were thinking of going on, let's say, dates in hotels or dressing up. Now I hear this guy saying date night. Because date night, those things don't work for me per se. I'm more spontaneous. Would find ourselves doing things like picnics, preparing something, getting a blanket, go sitting somewhere and just eat. Like, you need to be authentic to who you are. You don't have to copy. For some people need to copy because they are not creative. They have to pick from somewhere to administer and then see if the drug will work or not. But ideally, life can be made so simple, and it doesn't have to be financially taxing to achieve the setting that you're looking for. You understand? So if, well, I don't know why I come back to this example. If the madam has a cancer run t-shirt, and it's what you have, birthday, kabaka birthday run, and it's what the man and woman can afford at that time. But get some scissors, cut it up a bit, start from there. Like people, life is not so complicated. Like we make it to be complicated things, and we try to live in the future and forget how to live in that moment now. And those little things build up to what you desire to see. It's not a one-day event.
It's very interesting that you say that. I was talking to some gentleman who told me love language and how you express love in marriage evolves over time, from when you buy her flowers and take her out to a point where, to her at a particular moment, what will speak to her as you're loving is for you to have the kids or have the baby for 1 hour and allow her have a nap. And she'll feel like she's the most loved at that moment, because you're doing, and it goes to what you're saying. I think that point is where you are not necessarily having to take her out and buy flowers, but you're looking at her as a partner, as this, you love her, and you're able to do that, get out of your comfort as a man, or this whole patriarchy thing, and you're able to have the babies and allow her take a nap, so that you move away from that. Sometimes how does a guy move away from that point? Because like we said, it stems from you, how you have positioned yourself, or how you're looking at yourself, because you're looking at yourself as tata wabana, and that is how you're looking at your other partner as mama wabana. How does a guy move away from that point, but also you're not letting go of the fact that you have to take your responsibility as a man and do what you have to do?
That's actually, because like I said, my situation, I was called out, but then also I was open to, why are we doing these things anymore? Because it was like bringing me back to like, look, before all this responsibility, I'm also an individual, and I have my needs, as in I need to be, food and stuff, right? So I was being open and being aware of, like what Julia said, being aware, knowing your person, being aware, because sometimes it might not, for me, she was blunt, but maybe you'll notice, so like when Prophet says, you come and the woman is in the bed sheets.
You're wondering, is this my mother?
Now she has shifted from cancer and shirt now to the bed sheet. Right? So you have to be aware, you have to be open, intuitive, and know like, what is this? And then it's down to a thing of also knowing that it's spiritual, because like Christ and his bride.
Yeah.
And we are Christ and she's our bride. And understanding, so prayer, because when you see the bed sheet, you have to be like, Holy Spirit now, and then the guidance, because no, seriously, because if you don't approach it spiritually, you also be like, this is good. Also me, this is good woman, to use the prophet's words, and then you also harden, and then you won't shift from that.
Some time to do some breaking of chains and what of binding
yourself. That quiet time in the morning, and you be like, now at least let the cancer and sleeveless come back, and not the because he said now we edit the Katisha because of the Mbera, right? And so being open to actually come to that. So to answer your question, to seek the Lord. When you be aware and see these things. Yeah. And then maybe also if you have a brother like Mark, and be like, my man, this is and this and this. Because you know that person, God speaks to you through that person in regards to, because it's a spiritual matter, at the core of it, like we know marriage is God ordained. So it's not just the back where all that is important, but then from there,
So in this situation, we've been having this conversation where a partner, I think the most important thing is love. And the problem is that it's more of a cliche
Yeah, that I
when
know.
when we say love.
Yes.
Because people say love, but the attributes of love is kindness. If you're kind, you're considerate. The thing is that we focus on the big word love, and people forget these small things that actually make the love. And someone is trying to buy flowers and take her out, but you're forgetting these other things that actually build what love is. People pay attention to the bigger thing and forget the smaller that actually build or define what love is. I think when men become more kind to their spouses and then considerate and of course all these things, I feel like she's also compelled to move away from that place where she has camped as mama wawana. And the more you're kind to her, the more you consider it, the more you want to spend time with her. Like they say, men, for us, you want her somewhere in the room, but not where you are. Somewhere you want to know she's there in the room, but you want your space. You understand? Yeah. But the more I think you open up and try to spend time together, I think it also wears out that other bedsheet thing of you come home and knock and she's wrapped up in a bedsheet.
Yeah. So for me, I wanted to go back to what he said about changing the settings. When you adjust settings of something, you get you tune in a different frequencies, because life is about energy. You understand? Sometimes what you give out is what you get. And the challenge is to we have a world where so many things are influencing people's decisions, from social media to news to all sorts and manner of things, that people have, like I keep saying, they've forgotten to be authentically who they are called to be. So know your person. Me, I know people who don't like flowers, for example. You buy yoga flowers, but the settings will stay the same. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But you should know your person to the extent that whatever you're going to do, even if it's trial and error, but it will move you closer to adjusting that person to suit you. You understand? So the truth is, men, you can actually create the wife you desire in life.
Okay.
From the time you marry that person, you can build them up, some even intuitively, to the person you desire to see. Because when you imagine your wife a certain way, you automatically start to work around things that will get her to. For example, if let's say your wife Bambi, for her the weighing scale is a trial, if I may use those words. Nga, I'm not trying to use the words, let me just say it, fat. Kakati. And not everyone, for example, is built to be skinny. You understand?
Absolutely.
So don't expect your wife to be 40 kgs. Nga go wamusanga aliku 85. Mchala watu. She could be 85, but she's fit. You get what I'm saying? But if, let's say, you wanted her to lose weight, maybe go to the gym with her. Take the small walks. You get what I'm saying? So that you're now building them up to the person that you desire to be. But some women also like women who are
absolutely.
Because that's what you appreciate. You lose weight and I'm like,
hey,
what's wrong with you?
what is going
Who
on?
are you? By you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So know your people. Know your people and adjust accordingly to them. You will know the right seeds to plant. You'll know that this one needs X, Y, Z, or this one needs this. But at the end of the day, it's also not the absolute responsibility of the man to do the things that will cause that lady to transform into what they desire. No, it's not written, it's not a linear thing. This is a two-way traffic, if I should say. But the men play a certain primary role. Sure. And if I'm to use the word of God here, the word of God says that wives, submit yourselves to your husbands. Yeah, for this actually is the will of the Lord. Yeah. Wives, submit yourselves to yours. By the way, not girlfriends. I said wives. It's very clear there because some boyfriends want submission. Kumbe you a boyfriend. They might change you next week. You understand? You want anyway. Shall go. That's a message for another day. Then, but there is the key thing of husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church. And I can tell you, if now we take that picture and see how God has loved us. You people, as the church, we can be stray.
Yeah.
We can be stray. But is there a point in time when we came to this Creator and He didn't take us back? Is there a point in time when we asked and He didn't give? Is there a point in time when we wanted something and He didn't accept to nurture us? You understand?
Yeah.
So if we look at it from those eyes, which are the best eyes actually to look at that, then you see that even the Creator knows that He is the groom and we are the bride. So who looks like they have the biggest responsibility? The groom. But the groom responds to the submission and obedience of the bride. That's where the two-way traffic comes in.
Okay. That's no better way to bring this show to the end. We've had a very interesting conversation, and please consider subscribing for more of this kind of conversations. Thank you, and until next time, my name is Mark.